Yes, definitely. I feel it is such a creative initiative, and it is so inspiring. I've been following your channel, watching your videos. You've done videos with psychologists, poets, doctors, homeopaths. It is such a such a creative tool, and a way of doing service for the community.
Have you ever had an art problem?
Um, well, as a child, I always wanted to wear spectacles, but I never had a power. And I remember I would go to the doctor and try and fake my eyesight, not read a few lines. But I was never prescribed a powered spectacle.
That when it go off on work, where I have been an amazing I daughter Sina Motallebi. That Sina who I was
Thank you, dear Anand, for having me.
my purpose is how did you get in my own and up me.
Yes, I chose optometry in consultation with my parents, and at that point of time, it was one thing that was on my mind was how I can be of service to my community through my profession. And there were a few options in front of me, and optometry was one of them. Of course, every profession is in a way a form of service. I always, in my college, in my school days also, I was good in biology, and the eye would fascinate me. It's working. So I had a natural inclination towards healthcare, and of course, then my father introduced me to the field of optometry. I did not know that this field exists specifically. So I did my bachelor's in optometry and then continued to do my master's. And this just became my profession. I started liking the fact that I can set up a practice quite easily anywhere. I love conducting eye vision screening camps, eye camps, in many areas here in Pune where I live. Um, yeah, and it's such a wonderful opportunity to share this experience with you on such a lovely and beautiful platform. Thank you for this initiative.
Do you remember your first
Yes, I do remember. Of course, as students, we get a lot of we do a lot of practice before we go for our internship and actually deal with patients. And our first few cases are in the college itself. So it's either of our friends becoming a patient and inducing a power in their eyes, and we have to kind of identify. So the first practice cases I've had were friends, and of course that came along with a lot of fun, and it would be interesting to diagnose conditions amongst friends. But also then I went for my internship, and then I had to face real patients who walk in to the hospital. That also was very exciting. I remember there was one case where it was an old gentleman, and quite frustrated. He was a reader. He really wanted to be able to read the newspaper, and he had been to a lot of places, a lot of hospitals, did a few surgeries. But then, like, while we were kind of examining him, we thought, you know what, let us just give magnifiers a shot. So, like, we just put a high plus lens in front of his eye, and he suddenly was able to read. And we put a newspaper in front of him, and he was able to read the newspaper. With a little bit of adjustment to his head and tilting his head, but he was able to read, and he was so happy. So I think it was just something out of the box that we thought that, you know what, nothing is working. Let's just try a +6 diopter lens. And usually, if you want to correct a patient for near, you go up to a maximum of +3.5, +4. +4 is extreme a lot. So as interns, we were like, you know what, let's just try +6 or +7. It was a very radical decision, and it worked. So it was a nice first memory.
Viu var jo må opleve.
Um, well, every case has its unique features, but yeah, there have been a few complicated ones, especially in the eye. Complicated would be if there's a combination of hypertension, diabetes, then it creates a lot of damage in the retina. The retinal blood vessels start to leak. To stop the leakage, you have to burn the site. That further harms the retina. So there have been cases that are struggling with diabetes, struggling with hypertension, uh, and have to undergo surgery. So uncontrolled sugar and ocular surgery don't go together. Like, the sugar really needs to come under control. But then there are certain surgeries that are a little immediate. They have to be done, but then the sugar is not under control. So those get a little tricky to handle. And of course, yeah, every case has its own challenges.
Ağırdan bilen el var eli.
Well, there are a few obvious changes that happen as we age. The intraocular lens of the eye undergoes changes. So our eyeball has one lens that focuses the rays of light entering it on the retina. Now, this lens changes its shape. It is able to become less convex or more convex. So it either bulges outwards or it becomes thin. That's how it controls the focus of light. Uh, the capacity to bulge and become thin over time, this it loses its elasticity, and it tends to become a little hard and eventually becomes opaque. So that is one very obvious change that almost every eye undergoes sooner or later, depending to how much of ultraviolet radiation they've been exposed to, some genetic factors. different factors. It just determines the time at which it manifests. But this is one obvious change that happens as we age. There are other changes on the retina, less common but also happen due to age. The point at which the rays of light are focused, mainly focused on the retina, the macula, that undergoes some changes as we age. Of course, diabetes and blood pressure put us at a higher risk of this kind of change. But cataract doesn't really have anything directly to do with diabetes, blood pressure. That's something that just comes with age. Yeah.
If somebody goes into our any rub what is rotten the other eye.
No, it does not help. It does not help, especially if something has gone into one of the eyes, any one of them. First thing we need to do is to flush that thing out. And simply avoid rubbing it. I mean, I know the first reaction is to shut the eye and go for it and just try and. But then that if that object is something that is even slightly sharp or has a sharp edge, then as we rub it, we tend to take that object around with our fingers, and we kind of scratch the whole area under the
Yeah.
eyelids, which is not the best case. If it's a deep scratch, then the doctor also can't really help regain good vision. So when an object goes into the eye, also again depending on what kind of object it is, if it is a solid plastic or a metal, it needs to be treated differently. But the first line of action is to rinse it with water. um, of course, if it's a chemical, then again, that is a different line of care that is required. But objects, foreign particles, it doesn't help if you rub the other eye. In fact, the eye that has the object that needs your attention. You need to be able to splash water and flush the object out as soon as possible without moving it around too much.
May of the imperial where imperial origin
This is quite a common question. I feel it really depends on the choice between spectacles or contact lenses depends on individual preferences. People's lifestyle also is something to consider, and of course their visual needs. Like what are their needs? Do they want a wider field of vision? Are they active and dynamic? They can't handle a spectacle. Both options have their advantages and certain considerations. And eye care professionals usually explain to you what are the advantages of each. And um, as far as safety goes, both are safe. Even contact lenses. There are rarely any, especially with the technology we have today, the materials that we have today. We rarely have any side effects or um, diseases that come due to careful lens wear. There are a few considerations to keep in mind. Your lenses have to be clean. Your hands have to be clean while you are cleaning the lens. You have to store it well. You have to wear it for the duration it is meant for. These days, contact lenses come in a range of materials. So your eye care practitioner will try to understand what your need is. If you tell me that you're um, constantly using computers and working on the laptop for like a good 10, 12 hours, then I will suggest to you a particular material and a particular modality of lens wear. whether it is daily disposable, whether it is a bi-weekly, a monthly disposable. All of these, your eye care professional will determine after you give the practitioner your details, how much time you want to wear it for, what is your work environment, do you sit in an air conditioned room or is it a naturally ventilated room? All of these determine what kind of lens you wear. And if you are careful in wearing it, you maintain the hygiene, there's no issues in wearing contact lenses as such. Spectacles also have their own advantages, disadvantages. You can easily I personally often suggest people to either have both of them, go with spectacles and contact lenses, or simply switch to contact lenses if they really want to get rid of spectacles. But if someone is fine with glasses and also contact lenses, then wearing both of them based on different daily wear activities, I feel is a good idea. Many instances you require the comfort of spectacles, but then there are many instances where you need the comfort and advantage of contact lenses as well. Yeah. So no, as an optometrist, my scope of practice typically involves primary eye care services, such as I can do comprehensive eye exams. I prescribe corrective lenses, manage common eye conditions. Surgical interventions, eye operations fall within the domain of ophthalmologists, who are medical doctors. They specialize in eye surgery. Um, as optometrists, we are the primary eye care professionals, and we also, in addition to what all I shared, we also go into squint therapy and treating different forms of squints, manifest squints, latent hidden squints, lazy eyes, vision therapy. So these are all. It's my field is more clinical. However, I've assisted in many surgeries. I have observed it closely. I've been lucky to have interned with many excellent doctors. Yeah, in that sense, I've been lucky to observe many surgeries during my academic life.
The eye in immobile of head AI help in eye operation.
Well, yeah, indeed. The delicate nature of the eye, it poses challenges for surgical procedures. It requires extreme precision, expertise from trained professionals. You know, AI technology has shown promise in many medical fields, including ophthalmology. Its role in assisting surgeries is still evolving, I would say. AI can right now aid in tasks such as analyzing images, diagnosing, planning treatment, um, and through these, potentially enhancing surgical outcomes. Um, and so, I mean, there are studies, there are teams of doctors trying to learn how to perform surgeries using robotics and robotic arms. But yeah, as you mentioned, the eye is a very uh, delicate organ, and right now, like the safest option for doctors is for human beings to enter it. So a human mind, a human brain is able to be as careful as is required. Yeah, hopefully I don't know how, but it continues to evolve and help in surgeries as well.
How I I was a bad, but
So, artificial eyes are not live and living eyes. They're not seeing eyes. They are mostly used for aesthetic purposes. They are also known as prosthetic eyes or ocular prosthesis. It can basically improve the appearance and comfort of individuals who have lost an eye due to trauma or disease. Um, they do not restore vision, and they are, of course, the modern prosthetic eyes are very meticulously, crafted to match the natural appearance of the other eye. And they are strongly believed to provide psychological benefits to the wearer, because there are many eye conditions in which one of the eye is lost. Either the eyeball has to be removed entirely, so the eyelid sinks in, or the eyeball has to be semi-removed, and then only the white portion appears. Which in both cases the face then tends to look a little different. One of the eyes is a little sunken inside and lid is closed. So many times, in order to boost confidence and, what do you call it, to help patients socialize better, prosthetic eyes are extremely helpful. They are made out of POP and plaster of Paris, and of course mixed with a lot of other ingredients, enamels, coatings, which are extremely safe for the eye. They are all bio-grade material, biocompatible, and it has its own routine. The eye care ocularist, usually ocularists make prosthetic eyes. The ocularist will explain to you how to use it, how often to remove it, clean it. They will teach you how to wear it. So it really, in a psychological sense, it is very beneficial for patients. And they're quite common also. I'm sure all of us must have come across someone with a prosthetic eye, and we did not come to know that they have a prosthetic eye.
what is hormone for I
Well, ongoing research in the field of eye treatments, it encompasses a broad range of areas, which includes, there are many advances being made in refractive surgery techniques. Um, uh, Researchers are trying to understand what kind of techniques will help us remove refractive errors, remove the power of your eyes with with close to 100% accuracy. So the most precise way of performing a refractive surgery, that is under research. There are many teams who are researchers focusing on gene therapy for certain eye diseases that are inherited, in which case um, they are trying to see if gene therapy works. There are many retinal conditions, degenerative conditions. The cells of the retina start disintegrating, getting destroyed. And there are many studies trying to understand why, what can help, can we stop it, how can we reverse it, whether or not we can reverse it. Um, there are many, there is research about how to deliver drug to the eye. There are many retinal conditions. Even so, the eyeball, we see only maybe 5 to 10% of the eyeball, which is the white and black portion under our lids. The rest of the eyeball is inaccessible. We can never touch it with bare hands. So if we can't touch it, then how can we make medicine reach different parts of the eyeball? So there is research about different drug delivery systems. And of course, in the eye is basically an organ which manifests a lot of other ailments as well. So there's a lot of multidisciplinary research also happening. As I mentioned, diabetes, hypertension, excuse me, many other diseases, heart conditions, arthritis. So many conditions are linked. You can see some of the signs, initial signs of it in the eye. So a lot of research is being done also in that area. Right now, a danger that is looming over our heads is myopia. There are cases of myopia increasing because of increased, screen time, increased indoor time, less reduction in the time we spend outdoors in nature. So myopia is a big concern. Progressive myopia, the power of the eye increasing with age constantly. Yeah, these are some fields where a lot is being done.
I was reading on that it is better than in and other that who for how it may be
Well, the claim that certain foods are beneficial for eye health is, in fact, supported by scientific evidence, which shows that these nutrients play a specific role in maintaining vision and reducing the risk of eye diseases. One can refer to reputable sources online. There are many peer-reviewed studies, papers, many professional organizations that publish them, and there are guidelines that health authorities prescribe. Um, yeah, all of these that you mentioned have many vitamins, which really are helpful to the functioning of the eye. The eye also has diverse set of cells. Each part of the eye has different kinds of cells. Some are neurons, some are muscle fibers. So each of them requires. There's a lot of fluid in the eye, jelly-like fluid. There's a lot of water content, um, and all of these nutrients help in different ways.
I will want you information video about the enemy.
Yes, that's right. When basically a cataract develops, our vision becomes blurry, vision becomes cloudy, and that's only because the natural lens of the eye is starting to age. It is the composition of it is changing, and it is becoming harder, and basically it hardens and it becomes cloudy. So whatever we see is in a shade of white. It is light becomes a little scattered and foggy. It is like it's like going through foggy weather.
In the video, you you have advice or you got what member would be in every life. How can you help in here?
Yes, that's right. Basically, glasses or magnifiers can help individuals with cataract by compensating for the visual changes that is caused by the clouding of the natural lens. Um, so the patient has difficulty seeing in low light conditions, and prescription glasses, magnifying devices, they can improve visual clarity and they enhance the contrast sensitivity. So when the image gets magnified, the black and white is more distinguished, and it makes it easier for them to read. It minimizes glare and enhances visual quality. Of course, this is for the initial phases of cataract. Once the cataract advances, it is advisable to get it surgically removed. And these days, we don't even have to wait for it to get really matured and go to the end stage. Surgeries are performed immediately, and the best vision is achieved sooner. It's advisable to have clarity of vision as soon as possible.
Have you ever had an art problem?
Um, well, as a child, I always wanted to wear spectacles, but I never had a power. And I remember I would go to the doctor and try and fake my eyesight, not read a few lines. But I was never prescribed a powered spectacle. But no, fortunately, nothing major except for the one injury while playing cricket. Once I was playing cricket, and a friend of mine hit the ball, and it was a very powerful shot. And I was, I mean, maybe 10 meters away from him. And it came and straight hit my right eye. I had no time to block it. Um, Now that I look back to it, it was quite, could have ended in a major mishap. But fortunately, I was just given like 3 days of um, eyes patched and a few ointments. This was quite a while ago. I was maybe 13, 14 years old. After that, on and off, a few infections here and there. But fortunately, by the grace of God, no major eye problem. I only have to treat them.
Hmm. Would you like to share a for our how care of our eyes?
Oh, yes, definitely. Caring for our eyes is essential for maintaining good vision, um, overall eye health. I encourage all viewers to prioritize regular eye exams. Often that is one thing that gets skipped and missed. Practice healthy lifestyle habits, go outdoors, spend some time under the sun, look at nature, look at the colors that nature has to offer, eat a balanced diet, a diet that is rich in nutrients, wear UV protective sunglasses when you are outdoors. If you have a power, then make powered sunglasses and wear it outdoors. If you're using contact lenses, wash your hands, maintain good hygiene. If you are someone who works in front of a screen for a long time, then keep taking breaks. Follow the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something that is 20 feet away for 20 seconds. So keep taking these breaks, and just proactively take care of your eye. Don't take it for granted.
Beyond that, I would like to mention that I'm free, that I have been delivered by my own and would like to hear of in the with that.
Yes, definitely. I feel it is such a creative initiative, and it is so inspiring. I've been following your channel, watching your videos. You've done videos with psychologists, poets, doctors, homeopaths. It is such a such a creative tool, and a way of doing service for the community by spreading knowledge, bringing out such diverse streams of knowledge. I I'm highly impressed. I was impressed from the first video that I saw on your channel, and I continue to follow your work, and I wish you all the best.
Well, thank you so much for the information. And
Thank you so much for having me, Anand. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
all the best for your novel work.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye for now.
Take care. Bye bye.